All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. We are here to talk SummerSlam 2024 because we are about to witness the live event taking place in Cleveland the night before the PLE. Of course, it's time for the kickoff show. We are going to be watching along with you guys, giving our analysis and previewing the event as a whole. So stick with us. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
All right, everyone, thank you for joining us here for the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. We are here to talk SummerSlam, and as you can see, it is time for the SummerSlam kickoff watch along as well. And we're going to be going through everything that happens. The last time we did one of these was the big old one. It was the time that The Rock slapped Cody Rhodes, I should say. I'm not sure if we're going to get anything like that tonight. I know they've been doing more of these preview events since that. But either way, we are here for the ride. Thank you for joining us once again. This is your watch-along companion for the show. If you're joining in on a later date or, you've already watched the watch-along, the kickoff, I should say, then thank you for joining us for our analysis on this event as well. Now, SummerSlam itself is a big event, and tomorrow we'll be back for our build-up show. But, of course, at the moment, it's all about watching this kickoff and seeing what they get done. A few days ago, if you haven't already seen, we did our predictions show as well. We've done it a little bit different this time around, but have a little watch of that if you get some time as well. But right now, it's all about, again, the kickoff show. So I'm just loading this up in the background. We're going to see how Cleveland looks the night before the PLE. Of course, we are just a few hours away, actually, from SmackDown. It's always exciting to have the final SmackDown before the PLE as well. So hopefully that gives us a few news stories going into tomorrow's event. Let me know, guys, what are you thinking of this current build towards SummerSlam? This is the final kind of few stops before the show kicks off. Of course, it'd be interesting to know what you're looking forward to on this card. And speaking of which, it is a huge card. Of course, we've got matches like CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. We've got the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Will Gunther be going into Berlin as champion? Or is that the place he's going to win it? Or will Priest keep it for much longer? It'd be interesting to see. But like I say, either way, we are sticking with the pre-show tonight, this new format that they've been doing of the kickoff show, and we appreciate if you stick with us. We'll be your watch-along companion for the event. It starts in just under 3 minutes, so let's get ready, let's get sorted. Again, it's a big card that we're going to preview tonight. It'll be interesting to see what names are going to appear on the show. Logan Paul, LA Knight, Bron Breakker, Sami Zayn, just to name a few. We can see the official graphic here for the kickoff show as well. You'd imagine we're going to see most of these people, if not all. Pat McAfee, Triple H is always there. Of course, Michael Cole does the introductions usually. And then we've got Gunther, Damian the Priest, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins. Now, of course, a lot of that heavily features into 2 or 3 storylines. You've got the Judgment Day shenanigans, which kind of leads into the Gunther situation. You've also got, of course, that triple threat, which is, I'll be honest, guys, how I see that main event. I say main event. It doesn't even have a title, so maybe it won't be the main event. But that's how I see that one going down. Again, we did our predictions the other day, and my thoughts at the moment are that it's probably going to be a no contest. So it'd be interesting to see. Is Seth going to have a third referee-inspired outfit to show off this weekend? We saw one on Raw. Surely he's not going to wear the one he's going to wear tomorrow tonight. He might wear the one he wore on Raw, to be fair, which was a lovely little number, I have to say. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. We are the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. We cover PLEs, but also the weeklies every now and then as well. And we've got great interviews on this channel with the likes of, to be featured tonight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and we've had great conversations in the past with the likes of Gunther in Imperium and Rhea Ripley as well. Look at that, quite a few people on tonight's show. You know what? I'll give you one more. We've also had a good chat with Liv Morgan in the past as well. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and check out that content in the future. It's not just interviews here, though. We are here for this special watch-along event. We've done watch-alongs in the past with classic PLEs. Speaking of which, SummerSlam, we are in the mood for it. Look at Brock Lesnar and Sable there. His future wife, look at that. He's F5 in a shark just to impress the gal. We've also done a watch-along of SummerSlam 2013 as well as 2003, and we've also done them of 92 and 2002. So if you really want to get yourself in the SummerSlam mood, we've got plenty of SummerSlam content on this channel as well. But once again, guys, let me know what you think is going to happen at SummerSlam. I'd love to get your thoughts and opinions on the card. As I say, it is stacked. We've got a lot to look forward to tomorrow. And I'm already feeling, this is a spoiler alert, by the way, guys, for our conversation we're going to have on the build-up show where we preview the event tomorrow. I feel like this needs to be a 2-day event already. You know, it looks like we're going to get that in a few years' time when it goes to, is it Minneapolis? Either way, we're kicking off now for the Kickoff show. Again, thank you for joining us on this live stream as we watch along. We'll keep you updated. Hopefully I can be your companion for tonight's festivities. It should last about an hour. That's how these shows have gone lately. But either way, we'll be here for it throughout. And again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on not only SummerSlam tomorrow, but what you think of tonight's event as well. So here we go. SummerSlam Kickoff watch along. Strap yourself in. We're getting a lovely shot now of Cleveland with the introduction now from Michael Cole. All your typical, this place is great type stuff they have to get in. Looks nice though, don't get me wrong. At the Cleveland Browns Stadium, look at the size of that. Is that on the river? Wow, look at that. It's like going to watch Fulham. Wow, lovely little downtown area you got there. So SmackDown tonight. Is that another venue that we've got SmackDown in? I'm assuming it's not in this stadium. Here we go. Introduction now to our SummerSlam PLE intro. I imagine this is the same one we're going to get tomorrow night as well. It's funny though, right? Because they've got this international feel to it lately. They've gone to Canada a few times and they've just announced another Canadian show, by the way, Survivor Series in Vancouver. Looking forward to that. But they've always been to Canada. But even these American shows feel bigger than they used to because I guess these big PLEs now have stadiums. We've seen Royal Rumble in the stadium. We've seen SummerSlam in the stadium. We're going to get that this weekend. And hopefully Survivor Series is going to go that way as well, which is interesting because a few years ago it looked like Survivor Series was going to be the forgotten one and maybe even not be a thing anymore. But they've breathed new life into it. So hopefully Survivor Series gets stadiums going forward as well. But again, I do think all these big PLEs should probably go to 2 days. But that's something that, as I say, we're going to discuss in more depth tomorrow on our build-up show. Now, here we go. We can see the outside settings here on the Kickoff show. Who's coming out first? Michael Cole. Nice reception there for Michael Cole. And usually with these things, Triple H comes out next. So we'll see how that goes. It's funny seeing these Michael Cole chants. It weren't a thing. For anyone that's just started watching wrestling recently, it weren't a thing 10 years ago. Let me just tell you that. It was the complete opposite, which is great to see that it's turned around. Okay, so Cole says second time they've hosted SummerSlam. When was the first? All right, he's not going to say. He's just telling us about himself. Let's have a look when Cleveland last held SummerSlam. But I feel like all the Google results are going to be talking about this year. 1996. Okay, SummerSlam 96. What happened there? Sid Vicious, Shawn Michaels on the VHS cover. That was the main event. Oh, that's when he had Jose Lothario in his corner all the time. Okay. Mankind versus Taker. Lawler versus Jake the Snake. Goldust versus Mark Merrow. Sid Vicious versus British Bulldog. Smoking Guns versus New Rockers, Godwins, and Body Donners. Owen Hart versus Savio Vega. And a dark match, Austin versus Yokozuna. That sounds like an incredible card. But we all know 1996. I'll just leave it there. Pat McAfee's out now. So again, usually we get Triple H coming out first after Michael Cole. But we did see Pat in the graphic. So it'll be interesting to see how we're going to fit him in. This is the way they've done it. He's come out straight away. It's looking good there. Good reception for both people so far. Seeing a line from The Rock there, tweaking it a little bit. Thousands and thousands instead of millions and millions. I don't like this every year calling something the biggest of all time. That WrestleMania is getting that. We can't be doing that about SummerSlam and just pretending every year. But they are getting bigger. I'm guessing they're bringing out the man with a pencil and the sledgehammer in a moment. Oh, no, he said the word awesome. Maybe this is The Miz. Yeah, it's got to be, because this is home state for The Miz. Great to see it being used. I saw a quote the other day where he was talking about how hard it is. Great locker room atmosphere, he says, but it's really hard to get in the PLE. He's very competitive. And he's not really being used much these days. So I'm glad to see. It was on a lot of the early promotional work seeing The Miz. I'm glad to see he's found a space on this card because he's, let's be honest, the tag title run was great, but he's not being used much at the moment. And there's a lot going on and a lot of incredible superstars vying for that small amount of airtime. So to reward Miz, I think he deserves positions like this still. And they've done this in the past, to be fair, when it wasn't this kind of setup. You know, they've had Miz be guest hosts and stuff like that. Again, when they didn't have much going on for him. So he's always someone they've wanted to kind of utilize. But again, seeing it in his home state, this is a nice little touch. If they're not going to have him in a match. You know, we had Glasgow where Drew went for the title. And if we go by all these patterns we've seen lately, Miz could have been going for the world title. Hasn't happened. It probably would have felt like a little bit of a shoehorn attempt this time around. Don't get me wrong. Right, so who are we going to get first? What match are we getting first, guys? Are we going to get the Punk, Drew, and Seth fiasco? Are we going to get the women's situation with Liv and Rhea? You'd imagine Dominic might be there as well. But they might hold back on that because I feel something big's going to happen with those guys tomorrow. Or are we going to get the World Heavyweight Championship contenders? Or one contender, one champion. All right, just bigging up Cleveland as you would expect. Not much fun for us to watch at home, right? If you're not a fan of Cleveland sports teams, but we'll see. It's still about playing to the crowd. Don't get me wrong. As a Londoner and as a Brit, I can appreciate that because boy, did they do it when they come over here. Of course, recently they've toyed around with the idea of a WrestleMania in London, and you know if that happens, we'll be covering that in depth for sure, as we will. Hopefully, all in later on this month, by the way. And if you haven't already, check out our content from the last time WWE were here in the capital of Great Britain when they were here for Money in the Bank. Let's go, Miz Chance. His dad was beaten up in Cleveland, yeah. Good. Not good times, but good memory, I guess, Miz. You remember that? The Miz Express, is that what we're calling it now? He's got surely be Triple H. Is who he's going to introduce. What seats? There's no seats there. What's he talking about? Get out of your seats. Are there? All right, here we go. Time to play the game. It's funny, actually, because you think about Triple H, he used to use the King of Kings theme when he kind of came out as an authority figure. It felt like it doesn't feel like that's really the case anymore. I think maybe since WWE fans have started to sing along to theme songs when they go to international spaces. Randy Orton, of course, is a great example. Maybe they figured this song's a little bit better for that. Triple H come out with his phone recording. Nice little platform here, going all the way down to the edge as well. It's a shame still not getting the water spray though, isn't it? I guess it would look a little bit odd in the suit, I guess. Now, a lot of this is the same old stuff though, isn't it? Are you ready? Here we go. Oh, yeah, look, they're talking about the water now. He said, I ain't got no water. I can't spit it out. They're literally chanting for water. I say, look, it's the same old stuff, but I got to be honest, this is different. Here we go. Oh, he wants Pat to do it as well, I think. They try and make it different. Remember last month they got that little girl up on the stage as well? That's pretty cool. Interesting setup. You can see the old city in the background, and behind the stage you've got the production trucks. That chant's a little undeserving, let's be honest. There's an article on Michael Cole that I've totally missed. Now, Michael Cole chant. See, this is the thing. The first time they did this, it was a lot more kind of, I guess, leaning into the event. It wasn't the day before. We didn't know what was going on with the main event of WrestleMania. Oh, we've got Michael Cole now doing a spray. Oh, my God. Just splurted it out. Surely he's practiced that before. We've all done it, right? We all know how to do the Triple H spit. Not like that, Michael. But my point is, this one's a little bit more kind of loose. They've become a bit more kind of, I mean, exactly as they seem to be, just fan events, show up and have a bit of fun. But I would like to see some sort of, I don't know, surprise or announcement on these events. Maybe we'll get something tonight, because it is SummerSlam after all. It is the second or third biggest show of the year. depending how you count things. But I do enjoy these. They are good fun. But I feel like they're better for the people that are in person. All right, time for the big stars, you saying? So 60,000. I was wondering how many would be in this stadium. Not as familiar with this stadium as I'd like to be as far as capacity goes, but 60,000 is a very good number. Little comment here. I'm not sure what's more going to be controversial here on this channel, whether it's the political name or the political wrestling take there, show for Tony, but we'll try and stay away from both of those topics while we can. But either way, thank you for your comment, buddy. All right. Trips is gone. We've now got Cole and McAfee on the stage. And again, it'd be interesting to see which kind of match they're going to highlight first. It's funny, right? This SummerSlam has got all these new graphics based on music. Reminds me of the national one they did the other year. There's some nice baseball caps there in the SummerSlam store. But this all happened recently. Like the vibe of the advertising has completely changed. Like first of all, we had the logo, which of course we feature in our build-up poster. The poster which we feature in our build-up ad. It looks completely different, and the style of all the match graphics again have completely changed as well. So yeah, quite an interesting point I find late on. All right, Liv Morgan's music's hit, so she's interrupting. So time to watch her, apparently. She's come out in a little bit of a mood, I guess, playing into what we saw on Raw, where she was burning the Judgment Day's belongings. It's always difficult when you do a character shift like that. You know, she's had a bit of a shift in the past few months anyway, but then to have this kind of breakdown and then run off screen, not be seen live, and then have a kind of, I guess, more of a breakdown on camera, and then have to be live before the match must be a bit challenging as a performer to kind of display this kind of side of your character in between, because you've got to sell, I won't say tickets, they've already done that. This is, I guess, more about festivities. Fans are cheering her, chanting for her name. We're chanting her name even. She's got to kind of turn on them, to be honest, hasn't she? She's got to say, "Don't cheer for me" or something like that. Okay, she seems like she's down for business. To say mummy sucks. Wow. Okay, so she's talking about a year ago how Rhea Ripley injured her. Very serious side of Liv Morgan. Be interested to see if they actually bring Rhea out while she's still on the stage. Oh, I mentioned the truck. I think the background is a truck. Am I wrong? Same size. Oh, she's leaving. I think that's wise, actually. Don't show them with each other, especially with this kind of shifting character after what happened the other week with Dominic. I think it would give away what I think is actually going to happen tomorrow, which is Dominic turning on Rhea Ripley and joining Liv Morgan. Again, if you want to join us tomorrow for the build-up show, we'll be going more in depth on our predictions there as well. So now we're going to see Damian and Gunther. Got Damian Priest promo video here. So I feel like this championship reign is just heating up, actually. So it would be a shame to lose it, but surely Gunther's winning this title. If not this weekend, then next at the end of this month in Berlin. You could be wrong. Maybe the best of both worlds is to do exactly that, do it at the end of the month, but you just don't see Gunther lose, right? He doesn't lose often, which could be a challenge. It could be a problem in the future. So maybe they want to get rid of that now because he's going to win it, right, at some point. But, the story of him winning the King in a Ring and then winning this is a nice one. If you take a step back and you maybe look at it as not a situation involving the Gunther character, I think usually you might go, can we not have a break from this person? Like, they had a title, they lost it, NXT UK title. They won the IC, they lost it, and now they're getting another belt. It probably would feel usually, I think, for a lot of characters like, really? Now, imagine if this was, let's be honest, Charlotte Flair. As great as she is, people do feel like she's got the title too often. Would we be as kind of open-minded if it was another character? But I think it's the presentation of Gunther that makes it a little different. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us live with this watch-along of the Kickoff show. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Let us know what you think about the card, what you're excited to see tomorrow, what you think of this show tonight as well. A huge card, again, to preview tomorrow. We've got our build-up show where we'll be going live a few hours before the PLE kicks off. I believe 8 p.m. here in the UK. So if you can figure out where you are overseas, fantastic. I know we've actually got the dates, the times actually sorted out down you for us there as well. 12 PT, 3 p.m. ET in the United States at least. And again, we'll be going live, talking all about SummerSlam. It won't just be me, it'll be the rest of the crew for the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel and some special guests as well. But tonight, it is just me, so thank you so much for keeping me company, whether you're watching live or on demand. Do appreciate it. And thank you to everyone that's joined us recently. We gained a lot of subscribers in the past few days with our SummerSlam content. A lot of our new shorts going up. And our predictions show, which, again, if you haven't seen already, it's on our channel at the moment. About 13, 40 minutes long with Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling team members, basically giving their rundown of the card. We've got 7 huge matches tomorrow, so it's an exciting one to kind of talk about. And SummerSlam is always fun. SummerSlam always kind of is easy to get hyped up for, right? But this year, I do think this is a stacked card. So who are we getting first? Gunther or... They tried to bleep McAfee about 2 seconds late there. Oh, the challenger first. Here comes Gunther. Be interesting to see if he comes out on his own tomorrow night as well. I think Ludwig's still hanging out with him, right? Imperium's not really a thing anymore. Yeah, the stage is literally production trucks. What? But cool. The music playing. What was that? was that guitar about? What was that? Oh, interviewed now by Pat. Yeah, people I see in the comments on WWE's channel as well saying, what was that guitar about? I thought I was imagining it, or I'd like got a different feed in my ear all of a sudden, but I'm looking forward to this match. I think Damian's got not a lot to prove, but I think he might feel like he wants to prove certain things. I think he's a fantastic performer. I remember seeing Damian live in London at York Hall, a venue much smaller than the stadium, I should say, that they're using tomorrow. And see him get to this level is incredible. And I think he deserves it. But let's be honest, there was a lot of talk about his Money in the Bank reign. There's been a lot of talk about his world title reign, maybe not lasting that long, transitional champion, stuff like that. And I did feel straight away that they were going to make sure it didn't feel like that, but at least getting him to SummerSlam. So it'd be interesting to see what they do tomorrow. Fans not really agreeing with Gunther here. So weird, the character shift they've done with Gunther. Like his whole thing is like, you grew up on the street and that's terrible. What? I guess they've got to shift it at some point, because when he starts to get into these storylines, he can't just be the same character all the time or do the same thing all the time. He's got to have kind of nuance to his character. Oh man, it really is production trucks. You can see the end of the vehicle just there as well. Be a big statement if he wins the world title in his first attempt, won't it? It's not necessary, but the way they built the characters should happen at some point. He can afford a loss because of what's happened already, but 660 odd days in the Continental Champ, unbelievable. Because the thing is, if he wins this, is he going to hold this for that long? I hope not, because at some stage he's going to be someone that loses every now and then, right? Because we can't have someone having a world title for 2-3 years at a time when we've just gone through what we've had with Roman. As much as that was fun, this title was kind of made to deal with that problem. Let's go Priest. It's interesting, right? Because Priest feels like a proper baby face now. We'll see it when he comes out, I'm sure. Pat just asking the same question again. Nice. He's very confident. And I did pick him as my my winner for this world title match, but I am starting to doubt now. Because again, at some stage, they've got to show that he can't win every time. Yes, you could say, oh, he lost the RC title, so therefore he can't either. But come on, that has happened at some stage. But everything he's challenged for, he's won. Like, he didn't go for the IC or anything. Not the IC. He didn't go for any other titles like the US or a tag or anything like that. He's literally come in, gone for a title, won it. Boom, done. Move on. Well, I thought we'd get Damian. We mentioned in the first match preview there, we saw Liv, but no Rhea. I thought she was going to come out straight after. No face-to-face. And I kind of get it, like I say. We've been getting that a lot lately in these shows, that they are doing face-to-face, but I don't like it. I don't like the one going in, one coming back, because now we're waiting for their opponents, and you want a little bit of a face-to-face or something like that. Again, the first one we did, it's never going to be like that again, it seems, with The Rock slapping Cody Rhodes and this kind of confusion about what the main event was. It was a few weeks out, don't get me wrong, but the night before, there's not a lot you can do, but these face-offs at least are something that you could maybe have a little bit of a shove and put that into the promo package for tomorrow. So now Rhea Ripley's coming out to the Judgment Day theme song. Maybe the CD they only had one track. Oh, no, it's because they are bringing out Damian Priest. I was wondering if it's because they were just going to press play twice on it. But Priest and Ripley. So I kind of get this, I guess, them coming out together. That makes sense. I do feel like there's going to be a big change in the Judgment Day tomorrow. Whether it's just a title loss, whether it's Dominic turning on Rhea, whether it's a split between the Judgment Day, whether it's Finn Balor coming out and being revealed as the one that was kind of behind the whole Liv Morgan situation in the first place, whether maybe Finn Balor could cost Damian. I don't know, but it's wild, right? We see them coming out. These two are baby faces at the moment, and it's done a good job of turning it that way. Rhea was the most over in that group as a face, even though she was a heel for a long time. She went away, and usually when you go away as a heel, you come back as a baby face. But Damian Priest has slowly shifted as well. He's been this kind of person in charge, laughing and joking while all this craziness has been going on around him and referring back to Rhea. Look at them. They're loved. So this is a good time to split the group, which is a shame. I love them. Tomorrow, again, we'll talk about this in depth, I'm sure, with my colleagues from the channel and some special guests as well. So I'll hold off for now talking too much about my thoughts on the Judgment Day's future. Damian Priest is also, yeah, you just mentioned it there, Michael Cole. Damian Priest has a new documentary coming out, which I'm looking forward to watching. It would be odd if he didn't have the title by the time most people got to watch it. So maybe he's keeping it. All right, so they're laughing about Gunther and Liv basically running away. So it kind of works now. I hope they don't do it like this in future, like say 1 in, 1 out, 1 in, 1 out. It kind of works here because these are part of the same group, obviously. Fans are behind these guys. We are big fans of them on this channel as well. I have to say, I've really enjoyed what they've been doing as members of the Judgment Day. Goes back to the early days of the group as well. As I say, we interviewed Rhea Ripley talking Judgment Day. We've also talked fellow Judgment Day member Finn Balor. And we've had several great conversations as well with Damian Priest. If you haven't already, check them out on this very channel. You deserve it chant there for Damian Priest after the mention of the street trash insult coming from Gunther. Oh, Gunther's human trash. There we go. See, it would make sense now if this was like in New York, where Priest, hails from. Because then he could be like, this is for the people, we're all street trash, but we're in it together or something like that, kind of take it on as a badge of honor. Yeah, where's Dominic? Oh, interesting that they brought it out. So Michael Cole asking where Dominic is, and Rhea says, look, he didn't need to be here. I told him that. And by the way, Liv is a wussy, and ran off. So interesting there. Not spending too much time on Dominic, but making it known because he's turning tomorrow. Rhea says, Mommy is bringing a brutality tomorrow. Latino heat. So interesting there because the fans are still booing Dominic. She's saying you can boo him all you want. I love him. Okay. Oh, they're yeeting now. They're yeeting. Oh, Rhea says, I guess he's all right too. He comes to Jey Uso. Interesting. Now Damian trying to do the yeet as well. Liv is, Rhea even is really playing to the crowd. This kind of, again, double turn they've been doing with these characters. Liv and Rhea going opposite ways. Damian working against Gunther, because that was the concern we had a few months ago when Gunther won the King of the Ring. And we didn't know where we were going until SummerSlam, but we were like, oh, can it be a heel versus heel? And, I mean, yeah, Damian's a babyface, in my opinion. Okay. Interesting, though, because you usually, again, at these events, get all members of, like, the Judgment Day out together. Not only that, there's no Dominic, so what does that tell us? These two are happy. Are they going to be on the same page? And the only ones on that page come the end of Saturday night. So again, tomorrow night we'll be live just as we're building up towards the final few hours before the PLE to talk everything SummerSlam. We're going to break down the card in depth. So if you haven't already, now's the time to check out our predictions before we do get to that. And then after that, we'll be talking again about each and every one of the matches on the card. We're going to be breaking them down, explaining our original predictions, and talking about what's going to go on down at SummerSlam with our build-up show tomorrow evening. Starting from 8 p.m. here in the UK, 12 p.m. PT, 3 p.m. ET. Join us there and subscribe if you haven't. We've got the promo package now for McIntyre and CM Punk, a feud that's been building for quite some time. Only the second televised match since Punk come back, which is crazy, but maybe a good thing. I think it's helped build this feud. And I think, what would they been doing all this time? Other than building an incredible feud. And it keeps it special, right? Like, Punk's been back since Survivor Series, yet we've got to SummerSlam and we've had 3 major events. We've had his return, the Royal Rumble match, and the SummerSlam match. The only thing we're missing as far as big hitters is a match at WrestleMania, but he's, is involved there, as he's been involved in many of the weekly shows and other PLEs as well, don't get me wrong. But as far as kind of milestones, I mean, he's done pretty well, right? They've done a fantastic job of using him and utilizing him while being injured. And I know, like, CM Punk is a very kind of controversial character, splits of opinion quite a bit. But I think you'd be silly to not at least acknowledge the star power and the kind of strength in a feud like this down to what CM Punk brings. So, of course, we're being reminded now of WrestleMania, where Drew cashed in. It was a great moment, only for Punk to ruin it. And as we saw, Damian Priest comes away with a belt and defends that tomorrow. Seth, you can imagine, would be quite annoyed about that. Very angry come Raw after Mania, but that's kind of looped back in recently. I personally think tomorrow is going to be a no contest or a draw. Because, of course, Seth's getting involved. And therefore, it becomes a triple threat. And I'm not sure if that's a great thing, because I do think these are two great feuds that could happen on their own. And I think it would have been that way if Punk didn't get injured. So maybe this is the best way to work around it. It's great, though, because, it's not for a title. Yeah, everybody is excited to see this match, and that's what you want, really. The only thing that ironically dampens it for me is something that, again, I enjoy it, and that's Seth Rollins, and it's weird to say that. But I feel like it's too quick. We've spent all this time talking about these two guys only to add a third wheel to the situation. Where, again, it's fine to go into the Seth storyline as well, because that is just as valid. It should happen. But it feels like this doesn't have as much breathing space now. We've got all this time waiting for the two of them to meet, only to probably be screwed by someone else and made into a triple threat. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow night. It's got to be it, right? McIntyre, Punk, Rollins. There we go. Rollins coming up first. Will he be wearing the same as the other day? Something different? And if something different, is it what he's wearing tomorrow? Seth reffing what Rollins we should say. That's a tongue twister. I won't do that again. Until tomorrow at the build-up, where I try it again. Join us to see if I mess it up there as well. Okay, right. He's wearing something different, and he won't be wearing this in the ring, I could tell. But he's got a nice little white waistcoat, white trousers, and kind of flappy fins almost coming off of them in black and white. So that's got to feel weird. Like, he went into Mania as, again, this kind of third wheel. It was great. He played the role well. I was happy he got that position in some sense. But it must have felt a bit like, you know what we're doing here. But he had a great match with Drew as well, separate today. He's such a star performer WrestleMania weekend, don't get me wrong. But now we get to SummerSlam, and yeah, he's been away injured, but he's kind of, again, thrown into someone else's storyline. So it's a bit of a shame, but at the same time, you could argue, well, he's been away, and they've now shoehorned him into a storyline. You should be grateful for that. But talking about our special refs of the past, Jesse Ventura, HBK, Seth doing all the poses, Trips as well. So yeah, they've got a good little kind of spin on it here, as they say, where Seth hates them both. I like their promo they did on Raw, by the way, the three of them. Yeah, and that kind of play into it as well. Yeah, I can't wait to see them destroy each other. I'm going to have a front row, essentially. Yeah, so Rollins is basically surely telling us just no DQ. He's not going to bother or anything like that. So how does it end? I don't know. I was thinking no contest, but then if Seth is, he's saying now there's going to be a winner. If Seth's saying, if a babyface has a promise, he usually has to deliver on it. You might notice. Maybe I'm wrong with my prediction then. It is crazy. Even still, they were like, CM Punk is back in WWE. Like, even if you saw this card a year ago, you'd be like, what? So it's important to remember that, I guess. So there we go. As Seth says, he has got that front row seat to see Drew beat up Punk. Yeah, so Punk and Drew can't touch each other. So will they be face to face at the end here? We haven't had a single person face up against their opponent yet. So you'd imagine this is the shot where you get the two looking at each other. And this would be great going into tomorrow, by the way, if they can. Maybe a bit of a... Can they do a headbutt with the rules at the moment where they can't touch each other? And Seth gets in the way or something like that. Here we go. CM Punk's coming out. Suited and booted. Literally going after some wings at Wingstop. Didn't quite go for it. That's a clever way to make a Punk advertise, I guess. Not fully give in to the man, but playfully work around it. Looking good, looking fresh. Be interested to see how he holds up in the match. I mean, I know he's had a troubling kind of past few years when it comes to injuries. So I really do hope we're not going to get the same thing tomorrow, really. It would be a real shame. But like I say, he's looking good. I think we get some good sound bites from this one. All right, so he's playing to the crowd, but they're already seeing Seth's song, and he is playing up to it. Ear to the hand to the ear, even. Punk says it's all down here after the song, brother, as if that's all Seth's got. Look funny, and I can somewhat see where he can make that point, but you know, we can't pretend Seth's not an incredible performer. Gosh. So Punk is very prepared to be screwed, as he says. They mentioned this again on Raw as well. What did Pat say? The first time he's going to get to experience a stadium of 60,000 WWE fans chanting CM Punk. Oh, in over a decade. Okay, I should have let him finish. What are you talking about? You know he did WrestleManias before, right? In over a decade. What was the last SummerSlam that CM Punk was involved in? Let's have a look at this. It must be left in 2014, was it? Yeah, right. So let's see. SummerSlam 2013. What did he do there? He faced Brock Lesnar. Oh, of course he did. You know what? That's a perfect time to mention once again that we covered that very show on this channel. I should have remembered we did a watch along of that. So if you want to rewatch CM Punk's last appearance, there he is on the poster in WWE at SummerSlam. Go and watch that, and we'll be there for the journey with you as well. Let's go back to this weekend, though. Talking about how Drew made it personal, wanting Punk to get injured. Okay. So Punk saying Drew, his dream is to be champ, and Punk, his dream is to make sure he's not champ. Larry the dog chance here. Liberace comment there, I think, towards Seth. There's only amount of time before there was an AJD chant. As much as I like her and wanted to come back, come on, guys, get on with it. Here we go. Drew McIntyre on his way out in a moment as well. Again, how do they end this? You know, it's got, in my opinion, end with a good little kind of face-to-face, at least, with Seth getting in the middle. Maybe one of them pushes the other into, Seth into the other and them two fight. But then I don't think they can touch him either. And you could have just done that on Raw. So, again, it's just interesting seeing how they use these shows. Are these the last kind of ditch to get people to subscribe to whatever service it's on wherever you are around the world, or sell those last few tickets? Or is it just simply a fan event for pomp and circumstance and something to go online to make a bit of ad money out of? Because it doesn't massively feel canon, you know what I mean? They don't usually show, last night at the press conference, fan event, this is what happened. And because of that, X, Y, Z. They don't seem to do that. All right. Why the obsession, asks Cole. Weird little interaction there. CM Punk basically saying that Drew is a fan because he's wearing a jacket. I guess because he's kind of acting like a character wrestler. What should be the main event? Is it the triple threat? Or just this itself? So what is the main event tomorrow? That's interesting if he's saying that. I mean, it can only be the title matches. Gunther versus Damian. Solo versus Cody, which I guess if Roman's coming back, which I didn't predict, but could be. She was saying that Punk cost him opportunities the first time they were both in WWE, alluding to, I guess, backstage stuff. Whether or not it's true or they're just kind of playing into what they would assume fans might buy into. I'm not sure. 10.5 years for one-on-one match. Drew saying that you've sat around for 75% of the time since he went away, wrestled for 1%, and I can't even remember the other percentage, whatever it was, of being injured. Well, Drew basically climbed to the top of the profession. Yeah, so Drew's done this twice now. He's played into this whole kind of, look, I hate him more and you've got a heart, so you've got to stop this when I just destroy him. It's the kind of storyline I can imagine WWE doing in the past. But mentioning it, I'm not sure. Because it would be weird if Seth suddenly was like, oh no. Because then he'd have to kind of align himself with Punk after this if he shows him compassion, which he's not going to do. She's going to break Punk's jaw because his most talented is the thing about him, he says. Calling Seth a spotlight junkie is going to come out in a ridiculous dripper outfit. Ooh. So they've done a good job there because although they say, oh, Seth and Drew don't like each other, it's more about the title, which isn't involved here. So they're doing a good job there of kind of leading into reasons for them to not like each other. So Drew is very prepared on the mic. I think he's had an incredible run as a heel. Oh. Wow. Drew going in on Cole now. Wow. Bigging up Pat to put Cole down. Playing into the CM Punk chance again. It's funny though, right? They're ending this PLE press conference on this non-title match that many would consider a possible main event contender without the other title match. We've seen one, of course, with World Heavyweight, but not seen anyone representing the Universal title match or the Undisputed title match. It'd be weird if that does headline without even being on this show. But if there is a big old return, you're going to want to kind of lay low until that happens, right? Oh, here we go. Drew's got that band. He's got quite a few now. He's been giving them, apparently. He's thrown them on the floor, but he's keeping the one that means the most. CM Punk's that, of course, he stole off of him with AJ's name and Larry the Dog. Maybe this is where AJ Lee arrives. I don't know. It'd be weird would that be damaging to Punk's character? But it feels like the kind of storyline where you would bring her in. Her and Larry attack Drew. I don't know. But again, it's a bit messy with Seth in the middle. Speaking of which, we're coming to the end here on the stream of the Kickoff show. And you can see the face-off here. Not as close as you might imagine, head-to-head or anything like that. Just Ronnie's laughing in the middle. Maybe not as aggressive as you'd expect. I know, again, they can't touch each other. That's the rule they've come up with and all that. But still, it's a little bit, I'll be honest, a little bit of a flat ending. Let's be fair. And look, I enjoy these Kickoff shows. I hope you enjoy them as well. I hope you enjoyed tonight. And, Punk's jumping on the mic now. Oh, it's saying it's a funeral for McIntyre tomorrow. That is it. That is the end of the Kickoff show. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed watching it as I have. I do feel like these shows could do a little bit more these days. It does feel like more of an in-person event. But hey, look, I'm always going to track them down because you never know what's going to happen. They're fun to see the characters slightly go off script as well. So, yeah, really good to see that. I thought it was a good show overall. Gets me a little bit more in the mood for tomorrow if I wasn't already. And as I say, there are huge, huge matches that we're going to be experiencing tomorrow. We've got Gunther versus Priest for the world title. We've got, of course, Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk in that grudge feud, of course, with Seth in the middle on referee duty. You got Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn for the IC strap. You've got the US title on the line between Logan Paul and LA Knight. Interesting not seeing them on this show tonight. Sikoa going up against Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed title. Will we see the return of Roman Reigns? Nia Jax going up to try and get the women's world title off of Bayley. And speaking of women, we've also got a fantastic show in here from Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley for the World Championship as well. So really exciting card to preview tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us for the Kickoff show tonight. If you haven't already, please subscribe and join us for tomorrow's build-up show where we will be breaking down this card in depth and in detail, going through every single one of these matches, talking last-minute rumors, last-minute news and things like that as well. So there's some of our favorite shows to do on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. If you haven't already as well, please check out our predictions from the other day. You can actually see these broken down into shorts on our channel as well. Appreciate we've had a lot of new subscribers lately that have joined us from finding those shorts. So we appreciate all of our subscribers, new and old, and would love to see you again back tomorrow for our build-up show, where once again we will be breaking down every single one of the matches and talking all the last-minute rumors. You know what it's like on the day of the PLE, especially for these big ones. A lot of information going around on the internet, some rubbish, some exciting spoilers as well. And we'll be breaking down each and every one of those exciting rumors tomorrow. And again, each and every one of these matches we're going to be seeing on SummerSlam, coming to you from Cleveland tomorrow evening. We'll be going live on this very channel for the Build Up Show, 8 p.m. British Standard Time. And of course, 12 p.m. PT and 3 p.m. ET, as you can see out there in the States. And we'd love it if you would join us as well. Once again, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And please as well, would love to hear what you think about this Kickoff show tonight. Would love to hear what you think about tomorrow's show as well, and what matches you are most looking forward to. But that's it from me tonight. I've been Scott. This has been the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel, and this has been our Kickoff watch along. Hope to see you tomorrow on the build-up show and our content throughout the weekend covering SummerSlam as well. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.